Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. So, finally into earnings season we go. Second quarter earnings kickoff this coming week. It's all about the banks and the financials, but it just is one of those starts where you realize that after like waiting and waiting and kind of like a slower week of news, things are going to pick up really, really, really fast. It is a short trading week, but in addition to earnings, we also have the CPI on Tuesday, so I think it should be a busy trading week, even though it's only 4 sessions because Friday's off. Um, but after this week, after this coming week, I mean, it's just going to get busier and busier through the end of the month and the beginning of May. So buckle up, all right? Before the open and after the close on Monday, there's nothing even scheduled. Before the open on Tuesday, you have ACI, which is Albertsons, the grocery store chain. They're priced in about 2.5 points. I mean, these grocery stocks are hot, and it looks like it's in a decent spot to break out if the numbers are solid. But after the latest run, they're going to need to really deliver. Kroger, KR could be a decent sympathy play on this, as it is. It's another big grocery chain too. Carmax, so also before the open on Tuesday, about 10.5 points is what's priced in on this. It's I mean, just really just like a steady downtrend this year, and these types of patterns and earnings aren't my favorite setups. They cut guidance last quarter, um, so that's not great. And the 100 level is pretty significant, but I mean, it feels like it really needs to be like a decent report because there's a lot of room to the downside if the numbers are weak again, especially after like the drop and like the key technical spot. So I'm not sure I'm going to be involved, but it does look like there's a little bit more risk to the downside after like the move lower. After the close on Tuesday, nothing scheduled. Before the open on Wednesday, this is when the banks get going. So JP Morgan's first. It's actually the only bank scheduled on Wednesday morning. It's pricing in about 575. Last quarter wasn't good, and the stock hasn't recovered. So this is really going to set the tone for the other banks during the week. I mean, it's one of the biggest. It's also the first. Um, you know, I'm expecting greater volatility around this report because just it's the first one to go. There's uncertainty. People don't know what the numbers are going to look like, right? And honestly, like 575 option pricing wise compared to what it moved last quarter isn't that bad. Um, Also, it feels like expectations are very negative after 2 week drop, so maybe there's some room to surprise higher. What's interesting about next week is that Bank of America is like the only big bank to not report. So it could be a sympathy focus for me during the week, even though I mean, I was just in options and I got stopped out. But I might revisit it because, I mean, it's with Bank of America and Citi and Wells and Goldman and Morgan Stanley all reporting and Bank of America not reporting, you figure that it's probably going to be moving with them. And the options don't price in earnings because they don't report to the following week. So that could be something I look at. Also, Wednesday before the open, Delta about 215 is what's expected. It's first of the airlines to report, so it might be moving around a bit. I mean, I haven't been trading this group much, and well, I was actually just in Spirit and JetBlue on that merger headline, but outside of that, I haven't really been focusing here. And the setup on Delta just doesn't look that compelling. So I might just see what they have to say and then go from there. Also, Bed Bath and Beyond. So about 3.5 points is what's priced in. Could be an interesting one. Meme stocks, they were in play a couple weeks ago, but they lost momentum again. Bed Bath and Beyond is back down to the gap, the low of this gap. From this is when the Ryan Cohen stake was announced. Um, Last quarter wasn't good, but maybe sentiment's a little bit better. Maybe if they can deliver, maybe if it's just not as bad as feared. But I mean, the numbers are going to have to be decent. Um, Also, I mean, the options do seem to leave a little room in either direction, but um, it's like a pattern where I might see how the week is going and then determine whether I want to play this because I haven't been trading the meme stocks much, and Bed Bath Beyond is not even like my favorite among the meme stocks. Nothing scheduled Wednesday after the close. Before the open on Thursday, this is when this is the big big financial morning. All right, so Citi's pricing in about 2.5 points. Wells Fargo is pricing in about 2.5 points. Goldman is pricing in about 15.5, and then Morgan Stanley's pricing in about 375. So I'd say of the four reporting, Citi probably acts the worst. Goldman's probably like the close second in terms of like poor performance. Wells on the opposite side probably acts the best. It had one of the better quarters out of the big banks um, in January. So maybe that's more of the upside focus. Goldman, I'd say like Goldman historically is more of like a mover. So that could be one where, I mean, depending on what JP Morgan says, you got to see where it is, but I mean, it could still be a mover. And I mean, especially last quarter, it had a huge move. So I'll see what the options look like going into Thursday. I'll see where the stock is, but that could be something I look at maybe for like a volatility strategy, depending on what the setup is that day. Um, but again, also Bank of America doesn't report next week, so that could be a sympathy play for me too. UNH about 18 to 19 points, give or take. It's a big healthcare report. Really, the only big healthcare name next week. Managed care names act fantastic. A lot of healthcare names act great right now. Managed care names are great, but this is at a 52-week high and it's kind of straight up ahead of earnings. So I think it's just a tougher setup now. They do consistently deliver, and the numbers have been consistently solid. So I mean, I guess I'm expecting like another solid report, but I mean, after like the latest run and options are expensive, I mean, it's just hard to know what's priced in. So it's probably either going to be an avoid, or maybe I'll look at like Anthem or Cigna maybe as potential sympathy play. And then there's a big chip name. So Taiwan Semi is priced in about 5.5 points. This put in a 52-week high last earnings, and now it's 40% below that, and it's hovering around 100. So it acts very weak going into earnings. 100 is an important technical level. It does seem like a decent volatility strategy setup, but I probably need to get risk down. Its option prices, they're a little bit elevated for this name. But what's interesting is that this could really set the tone for semi equipment names. They had a really big reaction to Taiwan Semi's CapEx guide last quarter. So LRCX, AMAT, CLAC, those might be some names I look at too. And then there's nothing scheduled Thursday before or after the close, and Friday the markets close. So that's it. So definitely some big names. I mean, it's the start of earnings season. I'm also expecting some unscheduled guides. And we're going to hit the ground running because, it's good to have earnings season back. And we're going to have a lot of news picking up over the next few weeks. All right. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information about trading earnings or events with options, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Have a great weekend. Stay well, and we'll talk to you on Monday.